I guess I should take my glasses off so there's no glare. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Punish for Protecting Facebook Live broadcast. Hopefully the sound is good. You will be watching this later. If you see this on YouTube, you will be watching it previously recorded live, so that you know. Because I see a lot of you sometimes on YouTube and you're like talking to me, but I can't respond because the bottom line is that it's not live on YouTube yet. I do lives on YouTube, but this is actually being made live right now on Facebook. So welcome everybody, and I'm so glad that you're joining. Thank you for joining. I'll be doing some high fives for each and every one of you. Be sure to go ahead and share this in your groups, share this with your friends, share this with your pages, share this with your invite your friends list. I want to talk about something that's a very important subject to me, and it's a subject with regards to children, letting the children speak, and why it's so important to let the children speak. And we're going to talk about things that are happening in the country where just children are seeing things, which we will discuss tonight. And children are witnessing things and speaking about things that are very inappropriate, very, very, very inappropriate. And yet it goes overlooked, and I can point out specific cases, specific things that I see all the time, whereby children speak and they speak out about certain things, and nobody does anything about it. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you on tonight. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Danita. Danita has some good news, and I can't wait to take you on next week. Hi, Tara. It's been a while. Hi, Allie and Jennifer and John. Sandra, hi. You're welcome to come on. Have a little talk with us tonight. That would be awesome. I'm just sharing right now as you guys are gathering the masses and coming on in. So come on in. It's so nice to see how many people watch Punish for Protecting and have been joining. Now that I started going over to YouTube, it's nice to see the amount of people that are liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell on YouTube. There's going to be some major changes, and so I'm going to kind of touch on that too. But the main topic tonight is letting the children speak and why it's so important. Now, years ago, it was said to let children should be seen and not heard. You guys remember that? Children should be seen and not heard. I'd like to see in the comments what you guys think of that. Could you guys kind of comment right now and tell me your feeling on children should be seen and not heard? And then I'm going to shout out about what I feel about children being seen and not being heard. So let's see what you guys have to say. So hi, Franca. Hi, Anne. Hi, Melissa. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys. So while we're just pulling some more people onto this live right now, just so that I don't have to repeat myself twice, I'm just going to do some sharing, and then we're going to touch on the different things, the new things that are happening, what's going on, and the topic tonight, which is children. Let the children speak. Let the children speak. Hot topic, let the children speak. So let me go ahead and share this. Yes, I have moved over to YouTube, and there's going to be some changes that are occurring very soon. I have a cutoff date. I have a cutoff date for consultations, which is November 1st. I've already announced it, and so I'm announcing it again now. Cutoff date to consultations is November 1st, and you're not going to be able to get me for a consultation after that date. There are new things happening, and it should be very encouraging to all of you, but I do highly encourage you to get those consultations so that you can get the help that you guys need, because we have different advocates that do different things, and I step in and I literally go to your court dates. So I've spoken on behalf of families during court dates. I've had lots of people who have not gone to jail because of my being there. Children returned, CPS workers having to turn the car around and go back. Just a lot of important things. But as we know, what I would like to talk to you guys about, and I just shared that, what I'd like to talk to you guys about is, children and letting them speak. So go ahead and, like I said, invite your list. I'm just going to X out of this one page right here. Can you guys hear me nice and clear? And I would like to see some of your comments. I'd like to see some of your comments on how you feel about the old saying, children should be seen and not heard, because that's really what I'm going to talk about this evening. Children should be seen and not heard. What is your thoughts on that? Children should be seen and not heard. Does anybody want to shout out about that? What are your thoughts on children should be seen and not heard? And do you want to hear from me and what I feel about that old saying, children should be seen and not heard? Anybody? Anybody want to say? Let's see. Hi, Rosalind. Hi, Holly. Hey, Jersey. Let's see. What is she saying? Oh, okay. Well, this is a little off topic, but this is important too. Danita said, listen to Fran and start blasting the county, the judge, the social worker. Let it be known about lies against you to take your family. Danita is right on. Danita has an amazing testimony to give next week, which will take her live, which will encourage you all. But right now, I'm working with some very high ups in the state of New York. Okay, so anybody that's watching from New York, and just remember, guys, no matter what state you're in, you just follow suit with whatever we're doing. I do this nationally, so I encourage you to do this nationally. Don't let your children be abused through this system. Don't you be abused through this system. We've taken it over. That's why I have some announcements to make, and I want to talk about the children speaking right now and the importance of children speaking. And Danita did exactly that. She applied exactly that in her state, West Virginia, and she kicks a major butt. So I'm excited about her. Excited about what the testimony she has that we're going to share next week. Just a few little tight ends to do. But like during the week, this week, I got on the horn. I'm working with several assemblymen again here in the state of New York, all over the state. Hello, Julian. Hi. Hi, Anna. Hi. She lives up the road. Hi. And Anna was with my family all through the whole thing that we went through. And so many people that know us, that's just the thing, is that they know us for years and they know the credibility of my family that witnessed, lived through it, know what we went through, and know everything that happened and supported us through the whole thing, because they know that my story, I wish my book was here, is a very true story. A very encouraging story, I feel, and one that God ordained to come forth, because he, when I questioned why would children have to suffer like this, I couldn't understand it, but the Lord showed me through all of this. And that's why I want to talk about children. And this is all about children, but it's not just about children, guys. It's about you and I. It's about adults. I mean, without children, without proper parenting, without proper security and safety and being able to supply for them and be able to support them, where would they go, these children, so it's important that healthy homes are just, stable and here. And this is why we fight. Rosalind said, I always hated hearing that. Oh, thank you for saying this. Thank you, Anna. You're right. I did win. Amen. Praise God. God won. Amen. I always hated hearing that, she said. It was like gluing their mouth shut. What if they needed to tell something so important, but they couldn't for fear? Thank you so much, because Rosalind, you're speaking my language right there. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Guys, would you go ahead and just invite your lists, because it just makes it easier for me to not have to repeat myself twice, because I do have a few things. I even took notes to make sure I don't miss anything tonight. And I do want to be able to share it with all of you so that you guys don't miss it, so that you don't miss what I have to say here this evening. Main topic is talking about letting the children speak. And then that old saying, children should be seen and not heard. Well, I completely disagree. Children should not only be seen, they should also be very much heard. And here's what I want to base some of this on. Aside from the fact that we know that the family courts are a complete and utter fraud, and I believe that, people like David Jose and myself and so many others, I believe that we've made that abundantly clear to you. And we didn't just tell you some weird conspiracy theory and then just kind of throw it at the wind, and then that's that. We didn't just, just make up something and then just kind of leave it haphazardly. No, we proved it. We proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt that the system is a complete and utter fraud. So that's one aspect of it, and that is the aspect that my assignment here is done. God has shown me that my assignment, my time in this is done. And there's going to be some loose ends that I'm going to be a part of, okay? But I have a lot to tell you, so hang in there, because it's good. It's good. Hi, Danny, and she said, hey, Fran, too many children are ignored when they do speak up. Oh, that's such a powerful piece right there. That's right, and I'm going to touch on that right now. So be sure to share this video, okay? So here's the thing. So children are ignored, and what happens is when children are being abused through this abusive system, when there is an abusive family member, we'll put it that way, or they get put into foster care where they're abused, and they're simply abused just by the move. Okay? And we know that it's a fraudulent system. We know it's fraudulent. However, we also know that it's archaic. Okay? It's not solid. It doesn't have a check and balance system. It just doesn't. So we know that they've just compounded laws and rules and all this nonsense that we've proven is not legal. Okay, it's not lawful. I should say it's not lawful. And so and so basically we've proven that. So we know that the system now is coming down. We know that whodoc.info has extended it to December 25th. So guys, make sure you opt in on whodoc.info. You have until December 25th. But if you watched his video from yesterday, he's getting like thousands and thousands from all over the country. And no, guys, this is not a joke. And this is not sovereign citizen. Okay, you cannot be both royalty and a peasant at the same time. That is a false word. That is a lie. That is something that is to deter you from the truth. And if you watch the videos, you will see that every dot is every dot is dotted, and every T is crossed to show you and to educate you on the truth of all of it, okay? So that it is true. Go ahead and do it. Make sure you opt in. And in a few months, you're going to be free. You're going to be free. So we took the system down. Also, the congressional hearing room, oh my gosh, I mean, it's slammed doors open for me to speak. I'm speaking now all over. It is wonderful. I'm working with more assemblymen in the state of New York right now. I had a man yesterday that I contacted. I was quite annoyed, and I said something to this gentleman on the phone, and it turned out he got a little snippy with me. Sorry, he got a little snippy with me, and then I told him who I was and what I was doing, and man, he just completely did a 180. He was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, and I thank you so much for what you're doing, and we know who you are." And it's just I was like, "Oh, okay," So I did have an attitude when I first called, and I was upset because this particular politician is not helping the people and knows what's going on, and that he didn't know who he was talking to at that moment. And as soon as he found out he was talking to me, he said he started applauding me and thanking me for the work, and appreciated the congressional the briefing, and he appreciated me for the briefing, and then bent over backwards to help. So you see, it's definitely opened even more doors, and the work that we're doing does open more doors. And so I will be going in a little different avenue. I may be still doing some lives and stuff like that. November 1st, I will have my last consultation scheduled. So guys, please get them in if you do want my help. And that does mean even if you need me to travel to your state or whatever, consultation is the first step though. Consultation is the first step. I'm not going to just start jumping into a case until I have that initial consultation with you. Okay, now, why am I having this conversation today? Well, I'm having it because it infuriates me to hear that children should be seen and not heard. It infuriates me to see the thousands upon thousands of our children in our country that are being utterly destroyed in our country. They're being destroyed by a system that's a fraud, to top it off. But not only is it a fraud, like I said, it is an archaic system. And I'll give you an example. Go to any store. Go to a fast food restaurant. Go to an executive business. Building. Go and just anything in between, and you're going to see a check and balance system where things are followed through. And in this, you're not. It's as you know, it just is how the wind blows, and we know that it's $1 trillion industry, and that they're destroying your children and your families. They will make something child abuse when it's not child abuse. When something really is child abuse, they will ignore it. When a child tells the truth about how they're feeling, they ignore that completely. And I know that everybody watching you guys, come on. Am I telling the truth? I want to see a thumbs up if I'm telling the truth. Do they ignore child abuse? What do you guys think? Let's hear a shout out from you. Do they ignore child abuse? I would like to know. I mean, I don't even have to say a word. You guys can put it in comments. Do they ignore child abuse? I mean, why do we call it child predator services? Do they ignore child abuse, guys? You tell me, and I'll read your comments, because this is going to also be on the TV stations, and this is also going to be on YouTube. So do they ignore child abuse? Has your children complained and said that there was child abuse, and did they ignore it? Very simple. So I'd like to hear from you. Also, I know that children, when they are in an abusive situation, are terrified to tell on their abuser. Plus, they love their abuser. They're supposed to love their mother or father. So they love their abuser, and it's a very, very sad thing. So there's different just psychological issues that take place when children are being abused, and I will read these comments. There's different things that happen when children are being abused. Now, I'm bringing this up because we've had children that wanted to speak out, and with the consent of their parent, because they don't need consent from some stranger, they need consent of their custodial parent, mother and father. Yes, they're saying yes. They're saying yes. Everybody's saying yes. They're saying yes. Here they go. Here's another one. Yes, they are. And I will put this in comments here. Actually, if Holly Dyke is on, would you mind putting the consultation? They're asking for how to get a consultation. Thank you. I appreciate that so much, that you helped me so much. So I've had children speak out, and oh man, did we have crazy people just start attacking and don't let the children speak, and you're exploiting them. You're not exploiting them. Let me explain something to you. Has anybody turned on YouTube lately? Go to YouTube. You will be blown away. I'm disgusted by what's on YouTube. I have seen little children under the age of 10 smoking bongs, okay, rolling joints, smoking marijuana, and I've seen even a parent, mother, in one of the videos, come out, sit down, and roll a joint with a kid and smoke it, okay, on YouTube. I've seen this. I watch this. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. Now you send your children to public school, and they teach your children about intercourse. Okay, they teach your children about intercourse, and then not only that, but they're teaching them all the body parts. They're teaching them how to, all this stuff. With or without your permission, they're doing this. Okay, I didn't get a permission slip saying it's okay. I didn't telling me what they were going to teach. Okay, but they're doing that. But that's okay. That's total strangers. Teach your child. Now, what if you wanted your child to wait? What if you wanted to wait to learn that? What if you wanted to? And I'm not saying that they shouldn't know this stuff. Okay, but who is it for them to just tell? They're going to dictate to you how to raise your children. How wrong is that? Now, the other day at the legislative meeting, in front of the legislative body and the different people that were in the meeting, there were different advocates there as well. There were several different people there. Of course, we can't, God forbid, give names because we'll have trolls calling them. Basically, what we had is my son, Cliff Erickson, spoke about a very serious topic as he's explaining, and I know Cliff for years. I love that family. They're like my own family. And he invited me to come out there to speak. And so I ran out to speak. And Christian came, and I think it's great because my son now is homeschooling again. He's learning civics now. He's just learning so many things that he would not be learning in school. We're advancing math now because he loves math, and I just see such a difference in him. Okay, so now we go there, and then Cliff speaks, and my son is sitting there, and of course we're all watching, and we're getting upset. Everybody was getting upset. Actually, the man had a change of heart in the back, so I know everybody wanted to attack him, but he had a change of heart after my son spoke, and he was actually nodding and smiling while I was speaking the whole time. So it wasn't that I don't think he was disapproving. I just think he wanted names, okay? But names were fine, and we gave names, and we're going to give names. We have to give names. We have to, okay? But when my son said, I want to talk, I was saying, okay, just wait, because I wanted to hear what he wanted to talk about, to see if it was appropriate or what have you. And as soon as they heard him, the body there said, let the child speak, come on. So we were all in agreement that the child spoke, and the child did a kick butt. Amazing. And he spoke what's on his heart. And you know what's great about my son? See, when my son is with me, which is all the time, he is comfortable and he feels at ease that he's not going to be, in other words, he's told so many different counselors and stuff that he's afraid in the care of his father, and he's afraid, and he doesn't want to talk to Amy Ingram, the child quote unquote attorney, and he doesn't want to deal with this, and he doesn't want to, and I don't blame him, and a child shouldn't have to. That is child abuse, okay? That is child abuse. And so he's told me, and so when I took him to see her, he said, I want my mom to come in with me, which is his legal right. If you're going to give a child an attorney, then the same exact rules apply as an adult gets an attorney. Otherwise, it's not called an attorney, okay? It's called something else, right? And so the same rules apply, but not in the family court though. See, they're going to just make up their own rules as they go. So my son didn't want to talk to her. So what do? When he had a visit with the father, he went right in. And of course he's going to go right in because he's told me repeatedly, I'm afraid. He yells at me. He loves him. Of course he loves him. We taught him to love him, but he's been under very, very unsafe situations over and over and over and over and over and over again in that particular household. So anyway, aside from that, my son wanted to talk, and you heard him. This was from his heart. This wasn't planned. My son wanted to do it, and I was like, more power to you. And you heard what he said. And when he was talking about an innocent parent being arrested, he was talking about me because I was falsely arrested in 2017, completely false. They violated a protection order. They violated a private confidential address. The judge removed my son from the protection address. He removed my son from a protection order, and he also he was completely oblivious to listening even. He just thought I had like the regular standard, you fill out a confidential address thing at the court. I didn't have that. I have something much bigger than that, and my son does too. So they don't properly serve me. They screwed it all up, and this is why this story came out. This is why what happened to me happened to me. But you know what? The thing is that it's painful to me. It's painful to my family. But my goodness, how much more painful is it to my son that he was put through all this? My son was in the middle with drug dealers. My son was in the middle of domestic violence, like constantly. Okay, having to leave a house at 2 and 3 in the morning while he was in that situation because because of another, I called it a clerical error. It's worse than that. And they just did it again. They just tried to serve on a door. And when they're not allowed to. And then they put my address out there for the world to see. So they're in trouble now. I'm working with very high up people right now in New York, but not just for me, of course, because it's not about me. Like I've done this, I've laid my life down for all of you and for this country, really, technically, because I don't want to see this continue. So I'm so thankful to God for all the amazing advocates that are kicking major butt. Sandra, who's on right now, David Jose, who's not on right now, but those frontliners, my boyfriend, like he's done so much work that people don't even see because he's more behind the scenes. He's more behind the scenes. And Robert, if you guys don't know, so who's this right here that wants to? He's more like behind the scenes in all of this. But but the whole congressional hearing, if you guys didn't get to see it, I can't even begin to tell you the doors that it's opened. And now that it's understood that like the assembly, the legislative body throughout the counties and states, and the more that you guys are going out there and you're sharing this information, you're sharing it. Excuse me one second. Excuse me. Sorry, I knew my comedian son was going to come in and say God knows what, because he knows when I'm online. This is what he does. So
I'm pooping.
Yeah. See. Yeah. We'll just wait. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to read some of this. Yes, Anna. Yes. And Anna, you can too. Like everybody needs to call. As a matter of fact, here's the website right here. Our Children, not our Children, OurGov.com. That's where you can get your congressional affidavits. I have them too. And yes, he is a good man, Danita. And I have them too. And so basically you're going to fill those out and they're literally signed and sent back. And there's the instructions there. You're going to fill it out for yourself and everybody gets served. When I served with the basic affidavit to Ulster County of Family Court, McGinty, Gilday ignored it. Amy Ingram, she ignored it. They wouldn't even understand. They wouldn't even understand what it is. Like they're literally clueless. Like Andy Gilday, he didn't even understand that we had a Supreme Court. Okay, like I'm not even joking. This is going back to like 2014. He did not know. He had no clue. And they were huffing and puffing and asking what I would do if I didn't agree with the order. And I said I would appeal it. And I said I would go to the Supreme Court, and meaning I would just keep going higher. They were asking me what my next moves were going to be back in 2014. Like, why are you asking me what I would do if these are my rights? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why would you ask me these questions? So that you can go 10 steps ahead of me and continue to try to abuse me and my child? And this is what they've done. And see, what they don't understand is that, and this is what I want to give all of you guys and how this is effective for all of you. Many times when you're going through this, and some of you have cases that are so, hard and so traumatic. And these are your children, and your children are being endangered. And I just got off the phone with a lady earlier, today, and she actually lives in New York as well, and she's also has a long list of credentials behind her. Okay, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to give up who she is. And she can't said, I can't believe this happened to me. She's in shock. She's literally in shock. And I says, I'm not. I've seen them give infants to drug dealers. I've seen literal. I'm talking like dealers on the street. Okay, well, I've seen them like do so many insane things that nothing surprises me anymore. And the thing is that the reason I'm saying this to you is that this is done. This system is going to be down very, very shortly, between what we've done with the congressional briefing, between the connections that are made, and between the fact that America's forcing it through at this point, between the fact that you're not supposed to be forced to vaccinate your children. That's like a complete, what a violation. Okay. And I know that when you go into these fraudulent family courts, the bottom line comes down to they're speaking a completely different language. I don't know if they're speaking the language of hellfire, but you don't need an attorney. You need an interpreter, it's just a deceptive place. And that's all that's to it. And so the children, this is the main reason why I did this this today. The children need the opportunity to be able to speak, and that's exactly what my son did, and he spoke freely from the heart. I corrected him after because he said, I think he said the terminology bad parent, and that's how he said it. But I took him aside as we came home, actually, and I said, the terminology wouldn't be bad parent. I said there are parents that are just not appropriate in their child rearing, and as you grow up, and because he was saying, he wants to be a husband, he wants to be a father when he grows up, and he has got good he's got a good outlook for that, and I think that's wonderful, because you should never rob that from children. He basically said, I said sometimes it's going to be someone who's not appropriate. They're not appropriate, and I use examples like you may go to a school, or you may go to, I don't know, you may go to the park one day and you might see somebody and the kid did something that the child might have even been really rebellious. And then maybe like a father or a mother like whipped their belt off and started beating. That's inappropriate parenting. I said, or the parent may give a little tiny whack on the butt or put a timeout. That would be appropriate, I said, so there's things that, that's the better way to phrase it. I explained it to him. But other than that, I think he did a phenomenal job. I was super proud of him. I'm glad he speaks what's on his heart because he lived it. You see, the child lived it, and because the court forced him to live it. The mother didn't force him to live that. I would never have my child live that. I have a raised daughter who's married and an amazing human being, and she's never had to live hell. We never dealt with the crazy family court, so we don't have that. And so I believe this is one of the reasons God allowed me to be one of the role models for this, because we're from a family that people thought that this was only families that were sticking needles up their arm, that were losing children. There's that, but that's not the case at all. I have one upstanding mother after another suffering from this industry. I have one upstanding father after another suffering from this industry, child trafficking industry, because that's what it is. And that's why we as a country must band together. Right now is like the most pivotal time in history to pull this together. And it's difficult. And that's why we need as many numbers as possible. This isn't about popularity. No, this is about, obviously, the more attention we get on this, the more this information gets to Trump, which is where we're going also. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are some media outlets out there that have picked this up. And it's really, really sad to see this, because I'll work with anybody, as long as they're not insane. I will work with anybody. But they are so jealous of getting like attention in the wrong way. They just want the attention for themselves, that they don't really want to help. Okay, so it's like I could link with other media outlets and I could give them more information that I know they're not teaching, and I know they're not giving to the public, because they don't understand all the building blocks along the way. So everybody goes after CPS, and CPS is garbage. We know that. It's child predator services. Okay, but thank you, Anna. She really is. And well, I don't know about me, but she really is. But thank you. And so I'm saying this because they're not giving the whole story. Okay, they're saying child protective services is child trafficking, and listen, we could say that till we're blue in the face, and we know that to be true. But who's giving them the authority that they have zero authority to do it? And who's an accomplice to it? Law enforcement. And a lot of these guys are completely naive, so I'm not just attacking them. But who's giving them the authority, which is a pseudo authority, which means a false authority? Yes, we do, Anthony. A false authority to do it. They wouldn't have this authority if it wasn't for, okay, wait, foster care. Who's giving them the authority? What is CPS court? This is like I've been hearing about, oh, I'm going to CPS court. CPS court? What the hell are you talking about? Okay, who's giving them, good morning, Annie. Who's giving them the authority? Family court judges. But are they really judges? No! This is a fraudulent system that has been going on for decades. Okay? So now here's your job, guys. This is your job. Monday, get the child trafficking briefing. Keep calling the representatives. I noticed I gave some names to call, but you have 500 of them to call. Pick any. Pick 10. Get your neighbor. Sit at your house. Everybody's got cell phones. Sit around your kitchen table. Get your lists. And everybody make phone calls. And then go around and keep making phone calls. Come on. How hard is it to do? Make phone calls. Call your representatives and tell them I watched the child trafficking briefing. This is one of the biggest things to hit the earth right now. I mean, I don't think you even realize when you have a weapon like this. And so contact all your representatives and tell them, I watched the child trafficking briefing. I agree wholeheartedly that family court and the rest of them, because they're one thing, okay, is child trafficking America's children, and I won't have it anymore. That's it. And then at that point, now we're exactly a couple of days past a month since we've done that. And at that point, what you're going to do is you're going to, thank you, Mitch. Thank you. I appreciate your work. And Anthony, you too. What do you call it? And, sorry about that. And call them and say, listen, I want the system abolished. I don't want to fix this. I don't want to repair this. There's no repairing this. Well, the only thing that needs to be repaired at this time is all the damages that they've caused, and it's centuries worth of damages. Centuries worth of damages. I don't think that let's look at it this way. If everybody lived in a world, if you lived in a world and it was on fire, the world was on, the area that you lived like had a massive fire. So every day when you came outside of your house that was once on fire and you're like trying to build from this rubbish, think about it this way. All you see is like burnt building, burnt grass, burnt trees, burnt this and burnt that. Okay, that's kind of like what we're looking at right now. That's what we see. And then somebody takes you and brings you to this beautiful green meadow with beautiful, colorful flowers, right? And buildings and houses that are just white picket fence and everything is gorgeous. So right now you're seeing everything and it looks burnt, and that's all you know, because that's what it's been going on for all these years. Okay, under this deceptive system that they called a court. That's not a court. It's not a court, because the people, they could call it conspiracy. They could say this person's crazy for saying it. But the truth of the matter is, how has it served you? How has it served our fellow man? How has it served these children? Let's pretend it was a real court. How has it served these families? It's done no good. It's done damage after irreparable psychological, physical, and sexual damage to our children and our children's futures and ours, financially, homes, real estate fraud. All of it is all encapsulated in this child trafficking industry. But the truth is, it isn't a real court system, okay? Because we never voted it in. Never. Go find out where we did. We're the people. We're the rightful heirs. We're the boss. We're the boss over Congress. And so we've been sold this bill of lies. Unless you study civics and your children start to study civics, that's when you're going to say, oh, wait a minute, I'm the boss. Whoa, it's like sitting on a freaking gold mine and you didn't know you had it. It's like Money in the Bank and you're eating freaking ramen noodles. I'm the boss. Holy moly, this is great. This turns everything around. I don't have to keep begging them for help and so that they can keep telling me their keywords. We're sorry, we have no jurisdiction. Try the Attorney General's office. Okay, go over there. And then we tell the story. I'm sorry, we have no jurisdiction. Try public integrity. Okay, and we go over there. I'm sorry, to the Department of Justice. We have no jurisdiction. Go over to the FBI. I'm sorry, we have no jurisdiction. Go to the Supreme Court in your county, the county Supreme Court. Okay? They don't know. They might as well literally stick their thumb up their rear end and just sit there, because they don't know even what's going on. I mean, it's scary. It's literally scary. Okay. Now the Excellence Initiative in New York, because they hear us. They hear us. I'm the biggest mouth in New York. They hear us. Okay. I said to them the other day, I go, I'm sorry, you guys decided to merge the courts together. Why didn't you? This is exactly what I said. No joke. Why didn't you talk to me about it? I'm the biggest mouth in New York. I said, do you know that these are my families? Do you have any idea the size of my database? Do you have any idea that I know every damn judge from the north, the south, the east, and the west of New York? Do you know how many cases I deal with in New York? I said, do you have any idea? Did you come and talk to me? Have you talked to the people? Have you talked to the families when you decided to help the judges by merging the courts together? Now you're going to have 4 judges on one case, all wiping each other's ass, excuse my language, and polishing each other's nails and saying that they did no wrong. Now you're going to have 4 judges against one family, hurting them and their children. Did you come talk to me? And that's what I said. And so then the tune started changing in that avenue too. I said, because I represent the people. Where are the people when you made this decision to fix the courts? How are you going to fix the courts by bringing them together? Explain that philosophy to me. Because I read the narrative. I want to know how that's going to fix the courts. First of all, who cares about these courts? I said, you're doing something that's like, again, barbaric, archaic. It's not working. It's been harmful. How are you going to fix that? How are you going to fix all these endangered children? How are you going to fix all these children whose lives you've permanently damaged? Where's the injury attorney that's going to help these children? Because like I said so many times, when you look at the billboards, injury attorney, have you been in a hit and run? Has a drunk driver slammed and rear-ended you? Da-da-da, we're here for you. What about the injuries of these families? Where's their recourse? Oh, you can go to appeal it. Oh, really? Really? We can appeal it? But I'm sorry, but I didn't dot my I properly, so they dismissed it. The hell with the fact that you destroyed my child, you destroyed my family, you hurt our living, you destroyed our home, we lost everything, and the child's now in danger. I didn't dot an I, so now I lost the appeal. Darn it, and that appeal cost me $50,000. Oh well. Next. Oh wait, they're not in session for 6 months? This is our justice system, guys. I mean, I don't understand. So, okay, let's give an example now. Como has done away with bags in New York, plastic bags and plastic straws. Okay, because that's just so important. Okay, no, please don't misunderstand me. My family we're very holistic. My sister's a holistic practitioner. We care about the earth. We care about biodynamics. We care about good farming. We care about non-pesticides. We care about the fact that there's chemtrails, and we care about all the poisons in the vaccinations that hurt children, whether you want to believe it or not. We care about this stuff. I care about plastic. I care about a turtle getting a straw, because it's every day that a turtle is drinking out of a straw. But I care about stuff like this when somebody dumps, and don't get me wrong, I'm being sarcastic a little, okay? Humor. But I care about this stuff. But did that take precedence over all these children in our state? What about the twins? What about Alexis and Allison? What about the fact that they were public in the millions in the state of New York? They were being all kinds of abused. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was so obvious what happened. Mom was abused. Children were abused. Mom continued to be abused. Children continued to be abused. Where was Como? He was worrying about bags and straws, because that's important. Now, what happens when we don't have we have an earth, and thank you for the earth, God. We appreciate the earth. Okay, we should keep it clean. We should take care of one another. We should take care of the earth, the sky, the air, all that. We should take care of these things. But when there's no children, or there's no families to enjoy it, what good is that, Como? That's what I want to know. Okay, because while you were taking care of bags, now when we go shopping, man, if you don't remember a bag, you're carrying out plastic drinks. Did you know that? You're carrying out, possibly, plastic you're carrying out stuff with lots of plastic in it, and you're carrying it out of the store. Okay, you're carrying it like this while you're carrying your pocketbook and your child and everything else because you don't have a bag. Think about it. But it's, thank you, Como, because you really just, you have made New York such a good, safe place to live. So thank you for that. Thank you. While you're demanding and violating our religious freedom and telling us that we have to force vaccinations on our children or get the hell out of our public schools. In my opinion, everybody should have left public school a long time ago because the propaganda and the bullcrap that they're teaching in these schools. Okay? I mean, if you can't afford private school, then homeschool, unschool, and teach your children. Right now, there are kids that are YouTubers that are making 5 figures and better. So teach them. Teach them. That's my opinion. Maybe God wants us out of the public schools. Just saying. Just saying. But anyway, yes, boycott everything. Anna said, dirtbag Como. More should he be taking care of other things. Exactly. So like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay. Obviously I don't believe in vaccination. I wish you guys would do your research on it that don't know enough about it. What did he say? Yeah. He emailed Anthony, Happy Pride Day. Let's see. Plastic bread bags, plastic jugs of milk. Thank you, Banky. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Here you are. Plastic bread bags, plastic jugs of milk, plastic something, big deal. Why hasn't been brought back? Right. Okay. So there you are. But I have no bag to put all my plastic stuff in. Okay. But, hey, listen, if they keep taking your children, you won't have to buy this stuff. So you won't need a bag. So thanks, Como. Boy, you're such a guy. We love you. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say about that. Let the children speak, and I've had children speak before. Because they wanted to speak. I had a 13-year-old girl speak. Oh my God, all hell broke loose on the internet because the 13-year-old girl was sick and tired of being abused by her stepfather and was more sick and tired of her little brother being choked by him. And then as soon as some crazy woman from another state actually stuck her nose into this family's case, the mother lost the child. Well, no, I'm sorry. Forgive me. That's my own terminology that I don't use. The child was stolen and given full custody to the man who chokes the child. Literally choked this little boy where there was rings around his neck like this, to the point where Bikers Against Child Abuse that has a policy that they cannot stand guard of a child's house unless there's a protective order. Well, of course, the judge wouldn't give a protective order for this child to be protected from that father. Instead, the judge gave the father sole custody. Isn't that typical? We see that every day, right? But Baca, since Baca was deeply involved in this and saw this with their own eyes, the marks and everything, and then saw the criminal record where the father had, and I saw the criminal record. I saw it. I'll do a sworn affidavit on that one. The father had choked several men and been arrested for choking. He's got some choking sickness. So of course the judge did the right thing. Let's face it, take the child from the mother, give the child to the abuser. That's the right thing to do. I think Como would agree with that. So anyway, so that's what happened. The child was given over to the, because this attorney from another state that should have minded her business didn't like the fact that the 13-year-old spoke out. Yeah, who does she work for? So this is what we see, guys. This is the insanity of what we see. This is the insanity that's happening within the walls of our country. This is what we see within these fake fraudulent courts. So I need you guys on the horn. I need you guys during the week, gathering your friends together, gathering other advocates together, gathering the other people that have been victimized by this system, and call and say we want it abolished and we want it ended, and just keep forcing those calls. I want you to know we've kicked major butt, and it's like we want an avalanche of calls coming in. With the avalanche of calls coming in, it'll push it faster, and we want faster right now. Okay, I want to see the family court doors shut down for good, and I'm working, like I said, with New York, and I'm not going to stop, and I'm going to need actually a committee to help me. That's how much we have right now in the state of New York. And you guys can do this in every state, but that's what they did here. They did what's called the Excellence Initiative until I called them up and said, there's no excellence in your initiative. You have not responded to my messages. They did one time, I said, that's not excellence. Excellence is returning phone calls. That's first of all. Excellence is responding to emails. That's excellence, not what you're doing. And so now I got the ball rolling with that. And I got the head ups on this particular situation. I got the head ups on all of this. I got the names. I got everything written down, and we're moving along, and I'm working with families now. So anybody that has family court judges, which we know are administrators, that you have issues with, what we're doing is we're gathering, like in New York, I have about 250 victims of Anthony McGinty. I don't even know how many of Mara Mizell. I have McGuire. I have Courier Woods in Sullivan County. I've got them all the way from Manhattan all the way to Niagara Falls. Okay, so if you guys have more, gather your troops. It's not hard to find victims of these judges. Not hard at all. That's one of the easiest things to do. Okay, and then what you do is you're going to literally get them together with me, with this, with who I have, and I'm going to give you the emails, and you're going to literally start submitting like crazy. You're going to submit like crazy, and when you submit, you're going to say, this is what they did. This is what they did. This is what this judge did. This judge just removed my child after I've had my child for 14 years, no problems. All of a sudden I have no child. Like, what is going on? As soon as they heard whatever, and you're going to talk about it, and we're going to keep pushing. We don't want the system open anymore. Okay, they're not making good decisions. They tell your children in school, make good choices. They're not making good choices, okay? Here's another thing. And I've said this so many times. Somebody actually misunderstood what I was saying. They say, if you see something, what do they say? Say something. Why the hell would we? Why the hell would we? As soon as you report abuse, what do? Put it in comments. Take your child for reporting abuse. Call you a coacher. Oh my God. And God forbid the child tells you that they're being abused. Even if there's evidence, when there is evidence, 99.999%, that's what they do. This is the sickness that they have. Very sad. We don't want them in our lives. Bottom line, they're invading our space. They're invading our lives, and it's wrong. So let the children speak. Very, very important. If your children want to speak, let them speak. Look, go to YouTube. Watch them. They talk about every subject on the planet. They talk about things they shouldn't be talking about. That is very age inappropriate. If they've already been involved, and they have, by strangers going into your schools, talking to them, asking them inappropriate questions, right? If they've already had strangers and harass and bother them, if they've already been taught things they shouldn't be taught, if they've already been through the family court, if they've already been ripped from a loving parent and placed into danger, you don't have to tell them what happened to them. They know. They've lived it. Children are very smart. They're actually so mature, and they're so young. They're more mature now than I think they ever have been, okay? Because they've been forced into missing out on a childhood because of these courts. I'm not going to be a parent that's going to tolerate this. And I don't think you are either. So let the children speak. Lastly, November 1st, remember, like I said, that will be my last consultation. That will be my last consultation. Okay, so book it. I think Holly put it in comments for us. You can book it on #4, beingaparent.com/consultations. Guys, we need your help. We have a team that needs to get to DC. If you yourself can't donate for this team, get somebody who can and get the donations in so we can finish this job and squash it. And last but not least, whodoc.com. I need you to go to it, click it. When you get to the spot that says opt-in, you know how easy it is to opt in? And in a couple of months, you will be completely immune. Real immunity, not what the judges pretend to have. Real immunity. Hello, Kenny. How you doing? Real immunity. You will be immune from this. So we have these two amazing things that are happening. God is blessing us. Two amazing, amazing things. One is to take the system down completely and hold them accountable. The other is to give you your freedom, which is immunity. All that you need, the questions you need to get educated on it yourself. I'm not going to explain it. We did a Q&A. And wait, what? Hold on, my mother said something. Hold on, I got to see what my mom said. You say something and they laugh at you and ignore it. Been there, done that. 8 months later, they found out that what was said was exactly what was happening. Idiot judges, imagine, she said. Harvard Law School graduates that gives children to a person on probation with DWIs, domestic violence. Real brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Well, we know that. So, yeah. And that's the thing too, is that I'll say something and they'll think that they'll laugh at it. And then they'll find out that I was right. And then I'll say something else and they'll laugh at it. And then they'll find out that I was right again. And then I'll say something else and they'll laugh at it. And then they really need to stop laughing. You know, they really need to stop laughing because they make themselves even look more dumb than they are, if that's possible. So, but anyway, on whodoc.info, that's for the immunity. Listen, there's a Q&A out there. If you go to, I don't have that in front of me right now, but I'll post it. But whodoc.info, you can opt in. It's so simple. Your name, your children's names, they get the same immunity you get, and their birth dates, and you sign it, mail it, and that's it. And then in a couple of months, you'll be watching instructions because they're going to keep coming up, and we'll keep sharing. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. And I'm absolutely intensely right now pushing the continual calls to the representatives, over 500 representatives. Just keep on calling. And I want you to know, I speak to these Congress members. I talk to them on the phone. I speak to them. Okay. And they are either, this is what we're seeing. They don't have a choice in the matter. We're not asking, first of all. They are either 100% going, thank you so much. This is what we want. This is the truth. Or they're silent. They're silent. They do their job, but they're silent because as far as we know, they're involved. Let's face it. They're involved. Okay. The sneaky and all that, they're going to be involved. And we don't have to worry about that. We just have to worry about continuously calling and let them see that the masses don't want the system open anymore. Abolish arrest. That's my goal. Abolish arrest. I want to say goodnight to all of you. This will premiere on, where are you? This will premiere on YouTube very momentarily. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, it was first filmed live on Facebook. Thank you all. Do you want to sing? Christian
No?
No? Okay. All right. Night, everybody. God bless.